Welcome back to a new edition of the 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. I'm your host, Brian Hunter, and here's your lovable co-host, Mr. Quentin Meyer. I know it's been a minute since you've seen the both of us, so we're definitely wanting to come live with a full podcast. That way, for all y'all driving down to NWLA, you got something to listen to or something to watch and have a good time with. So we're going to go with full 3 segments today. First segment's going to be over June power rankings for MO WIFF. Our second segment is going to be our hitter and pitcher of the week interviews that we've hosted over the last couple days, and it's also going to be week 11 and week 12 because life got in the way, and so did new job got in the way. So I wasn't able to get a shorts episode out last week, so I do apologize. But I want to make sure everybody gets their due and get their interviews, and we'll bring that all to this podcast here today. What do you think, Q?
Let's do it.
All right. As normally, you can find all of our stats, power rankings, standings, everything on the website, up to minute as much as we can possibly make it. All right. So obviously, there's no hiding the power rankings. They've been out for a couple weeks now. You know, we're getting 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks into the month, and we're finally kind of getting to go over this. So there's no sense in hiding it. There's no sense in bringing it up. So we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to work our way up. How's that sound, Q?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm excited. I want to talk about this for a while.
So starting at number 8, Melonheads, no change there. Through the month of June, they only played 4 games. They went 1-3. Pretty much they only scored 5 runs and they gave up 15 runs. So, I mean, you know, when that differential is at a -10, it's just, that's not how it's going to go. So they've made a couple moves, you know. Q, you want to kind of allude to a little bit of the moves that they made?
Yeah, I mean they traded away Jordan Smith, as we covered on this podcast, and they acquired Drew Ballman in said trade, who has been a big piece so far in this last month. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Didn't they just make that trade for Drew for
Well, they traded away Sam too. Icon Live got traded away to the Archers.
Yes, of course, yes. How can I forget? They traded away Sam Icon Live as well. You know, that was a good trade. You know, they got a first-round pick out of that, what they wanted. You know, talking to Jason about that. He didn't want another 26, so he got exactly what he was looking for in the Sam Eichenlaub trade. I think that helps out both teams. You know, the Archers get another bat, and the Melonheads get a 2027 first-round pick. So if something were to happen like this next year, they have something to fall back on.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely Melonheads went through a retool, a rebrand, whatever you want to potentially say in the offseason, right? Unfortunately, it just didn't work out, right? Jordan hasn't been the player that he normally has. Now, does that change the mojo? You know, does Jordan all of a sudden got that switch that kicks in now? Or is this just a down year? You know, we're all going to potentially have one, right? So, I mean, I think it does well with the Melonheads recouping a lot of the draft picks that they've either lost or, you know, didn't have, right? So there's definitely going to be a good play for them going into this year's offseason, you know, having a young core of, you know, some players. And, let's not forget about the trade that they traded for Michael Dobb. So, I mean, somebody who just brings a little bit different energy, different view of things. And I mean, you know, it's just overall going to be, I think, a good situation for Jason the Melonheads to be in moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us number 7, the Kings. They're sitting at 4-5 on the year. Through the month of June, the Kings only played 2 games, 1-1. They only scored 1 run. They only gave up 3. So, I mean, you know, in all reality, a -2 differential through 2 games, that's not too bad.
No, not really at all. They also made some moves as well, Brian. You know, they kind of decided it was time to part ways with some of their talent. You know, they were in all these games they played in the month of June, and it just wasn't coming to fruition. You know, they kind of made the decision to just like, listen, we're going to call it a wash. You know, we're going to get rid of talent, try to acquire some capital, and own these next couple drafts. You know, they traded away Jordan Smith, who we just mentioned, was traded from the Melonheads to the Kings, and then gets traded again, which we'll bring up, as you just said, to the Mojo. Trade away Justin Hall, we'll get to here soon, and then trading away the big one in Josh Wheeler, we'll also get to here soon. But they got a ton of picks. And honestly, they're looking to do what the Empire/Purge did, if you're a newer fan, did in 2023. If you're not familiar, the Empire, our Purge, Empire at the time, traded away Colin Wilkerson to the Mojo, Tommy Dwyer, Josh Rogers, then acquired Tony Saggio for the Josh Rogers trade, then traded him back. And the Kings may not make the playoffs in 2025. They have a shot, but they will have a ton of picks in 2026. And if you're a Kings fan or a Kings player, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'll say this. I mean, even though we just played them this last Thursday, when they were playing loose, they were playing free, having a good time. Nick Bone was Nick Bone that we all know and love.
Yeah.
I mean, by no means was it a walk in the park, So it's something to where I honestly think they could be a stalking horse here, to where if they just play loose and free. I mean, I know their schedule. I don't have it pulled up right now. I don't think their schedule is as kind as what they need to make the playoffs. But I think if they put together a good run here, it could potentially happen. So we honestly, even though they're sitting at 7, they're only like a game out of the playoff spot. So, I mean, it's all reality. It's a possibility. You can't count anybody out, because this is the same Kings team right now that was the best team that we had in the league for 3-4 weeks last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're minus Justin Hall on that.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. They're minus Justin Hall on that. But on the flip side, you can't take anyone lightly. We just saw Nick Bone throw 2 games, and he threw pretty well. They lost 1-0 in game 1 against you guys, and then it took you guys to kind of come back to beat them. So any other of these teams that they play, you take them lightly, they're going to come up and bite you in the butt, and then the Kings are in the playoffs, and now you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see Johnny Gunn.
Yes.
They made that trade with Wheeler, Johnny Gunn coming back as part of that deal to the Kings. So it's going to be intriguing to see what does he bring to the table for them. Can he pitch as good, if not possibly better than Justin? So I mean,
Right.
there's definitely some slots there that I like I said, they could get hot and it could be a completely different ball game.
Yeah, will there be any pressure on Johnny? He doesn't have to be the guy behind Cam. He shows up and he's kind of the guy there. I mean, Nick is good, but Johnny's a young arm that has shown flashes of being great in this league. Does he now play loose like everyone else is on that team? And does he shine and lead them to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, expectations, I think, are just, play your best, right? So, I mean, maybe with that pressure gone a little bit, who knows? That brings us number 6, the Bombers. Cam's team sitting at 6-7 on the year, 3rd place in the National League. Bombers, another team that they played 4 games. They went 2-2 in June. Put up 12 runs, only gave up 11. So they're sitting on the plus side of that run differential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, go ahead. Sorry.
The Bombers are an interesting one here. I don't want to say they're struggling as of late, because you look at their run differential and it's good, but it's more so the fact of when they're scoring runs and where. You can have a positive run differential, but if you're scoring 3 runs in a game and then you're losing by 1 every time, and then one, it can be a culmination of things. But honestly, I just think it hasn't been the same kind of magic as you've seen from years past so far from this team. Normally the Bombers will trot out a lineup, with Cam. And I don't want to say like they're bad, but it's more so like it's not like the all-star team. It's guys that if you're kind of a casual fan, you only know the superstars, you're not going to know who these guys are. No offense. I mean, I know all these guys and I know how they're good. His team is good, but it's like the Bombers made the semifinals last year. The Bombers are still in contention. When they went 4-1, everyone was like, the Bombers are 4-1. Cam seems to be getting hit a lot more. So Cam was like, okay, let's go trade for Josh Wheeler then. That's fine. So now, for the first time since like season 1, Cam, who has been struggling and he'd probably say in his opinion, he's not pitching to the levels that he knows he can pitch to. let's go get out one of the young studs out here, rookie, and then just now you have an excellent 1-2 punch. And if Ethan Weiner comes back for the playoffs with all the experience he has in Maul and all the big time pitching he's been seeing this summer, look out.
Yeah, like I've said, you can't count out any team that Cameron Smith is on until it's all said and done, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, even though me as a Thunderbird, we have a healthy, a good lead over the top of the Bombers in the division. They could go on a run. I mean, granted, they only got like 4 games left. So, I mean, that's going to be one of those things, and I'm pretty sure a bulk of them are against the Purge. So, I mean, they're definitely going to have to be on their A game for that. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all finishes up. That's for sure. So that takes us number 5. Mamba sitting at 5-6. That offense is definitely pounding the cover off the ball. They played 2 games in June. Unfortunately, lost them both. They didn't score a run, even though I just said the offense been pounding the cover off the ball. They only gave up 5 runs, right? But
yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why they go out and they make a move, and why they get somebody like Justin Hall, somebody that can go toe and toe with James Dutton, and now you got a pretty formidable 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Caden Rice. Caden can still do some damage from the mound and from on the both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Hall was an excellent pickup for the Mambas, especially what they got for him. And, he's 1-1 so far in his starts, and he's looked good. His first start, I mean, he got kind of, I wouldn't say shelled, but his second start last week, he came out and he was firing. He looked fantastic against an Archers lineup. They just put up 5 against James Dutton.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
the same guy that went to a home run derby.
He no hit the Archers.
That's right.
It was like 11 strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he definitely was out there shoving.
Just one pitcher of the week.
Yeah,
I mean, he looked great. I mean, this is the first time, at least to my memory, that the Mambas have 3 good pitchers in the rotation. I mean, you look at last year, the Mambas were a solid team. They went, I think, 10-7 last year. They were second in the division behind the Mojo. And then Ryan O'Rear couldn't make it, and they went to 3 games with the Bombers. Well, that's not going to be a problem this year, it seems like. Caden Rice has shown up almost every week. And if Caden Rice can't make it, you have a guy in Justin Hall who shows up to everything.
Yeah.
So you now have James Dutton, who's a full-timer, and you got Justin Hall, who's a full-timer. And if Caden Rice is there, that's 3 pitchers in the playoffs that you now have at your disposal. I will say the lineup seems to be getting a little cooler as the year goes down. I mean, it kind of looks like they peaked a little too early, but I mean, look for them to get back on track. They're seeing the ball well. They're just not hitting the ball. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're hitting the ball. They're just hitting it right at people, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still making contact in there where, defenses are just making plays on them. So I'm not necessarily going to take it away from them. They're not hitting the ball. They're just outs are being made. They're putting the ball in play at a higher rate than damn near any other team that's in the league still. I mean, granted, we don't keep that stat. I mean, I'm sure I could go by and figure it out. But, I mean, that's just something that would be – it would take forever. But, I mean, it would still be – I would still say if they're not at the top, they're damn near close,
I mean, they still lead every statistical category in terms of like individual and teams. But here recently, it's just like, I mean, it's just not like convincing enough for the stats. Not to knock on the Mambas or anything. Not at all.
Until anybody catches them, they're still the league leaders, and that's just the way.
Absolutely.
So that takes us to number 4, down 2 spots from the May Power Rankings is the Purge. They're 6-4 on the season. When you're looking at what the Purge, they played 2 games in June, went 1-1, scored 3 runs, only 1 run against. So when you lose a game, 1-0, it stings. But again, one of the best pitching line. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was.
I think that was the home run derby.
Yeah, so then that's kind of how the cookie crumbles, right?
I mean, you're going to give up a run in a home run derby, most likely.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the purge of the purge, right? Best, you know,
Yeah.
they got arguably the best trio of pitchers that we got. Um, you know, they haven't played. They only played what 2 games, and I still think there's like a month. There was like a month. There's still a month gap in between those games and when they play again. So, what kind of
Mhm.
purge team do we see when they come back? You know, is Pat
Right.
able to be here? You know, is Pat? You know, we know Pat has had his troubles, so hopefully we're health problems and stuff. So hopefully that's all fine and dandy, and he's able to play. You know, Caleb and Colin should be well rested. I mean, granted, they are. You know, I don't think either one of them is going to NWLA, are they? Caleb or Colin?
They're both playing on SWL.
Are they both playing for Skibby? Okay, so yeah, so that'll be how much are they used? How much are they used on the mound, and so on and so forth. So I mean, you know, talking about coming back and playing on Thursday,
Right.
you know, because we have a league wide bye this week, but next week
Next
we
week they
start
play.
games start back up. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all goes. But at the same time, you can't count them out either. You know, with everything we got, they're only for the full year, they're only a game and a half back of the Thunderbirds. So
Mhm.
you know, Thunderbirds could falter. You know, we could take a stumble. Something could happen. You know, they could come up. You know, last year when the Purge they lost 7 straight, they won out and won the division. So
Yep.
it happens. It just happens. So could this be another Cinderella year for them? But I think it's all going to come back down to can they keep hitting.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna be the thing I'll have to say about the Purge.
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, it all comes down to the pitching. You know, if Pat Ballman could be there and Pat Ballman continues to pitch the way he's pitching, I mean, he looks unstoppable out there. The guy is hitting every spot he wants to right now. Caleb and Colin fighting for a number 2 spot is fantastic if you're the Purge. I mean, they can go out there and play rock paper scissors on who wants to pitch that game, and it would be great regardless. I mean, the hitting has actually looked better this year than it has last year around this
Yep.
time. Well, the rookies have been carrying the brunt of the offense. Obviously, Pat has been hitting, but full-time hitters, it's been the 2 rookies. They've been carrying the brunt of this offense. I mean, Blake Hoffman has shown up 2 games, so I'm not really putting him in that category. You know, he's technically a run of their rookies, but just he's only played 2 games, so just kind of throw that out there. If they can keep hitting, and if they keep winning, if they start to win, you know, not losing a home run derby and give like say Pat some run support,
Yep.
this division at the end of the year is going to be war because you guys look good. You guys just swept the Kings. You have a big series. Well, you guys
We got
play
we got
before.
back
You play
to
one.
back big series. We got 2 against the Mambas, then we got 2 against the Mojo. So I
Yeah,
mean
that's
our
big.
next 4 games are, and then after that I think we play the Bombers in a single game.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, you guys have one slip up there, and then the Purge retake that division. It like that's what I mean when it's war. Like it's gonna come down to the last game of the season, kind of thing.
I mean I kind of hope not. It'd be nice to have a little breathing room, but you know, at the same time, hey, I love competition, so there, bring it.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, bring
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
that'll put us at number 3. The Archers, 6-5, dropping down 2 spots as well. Um, the pretty much in June, the Archers they played 2 games. Unfortunately, they lost both, so only scoring 1 run and giving up 8. Not the best keys to success, if you will.
Say what you will about it, unfortunately.
Hey, just because they're in your, they're just because they're in your,
Yeah. Well, they lost to us. So, they're in an interesting spot right now. You know, after being swept by us, they're still second in the division. You know, they just split with the Mambas. I mean, they really need to get going here in this kind of I'd say back half of the season. I'd say we're past the midway point because the trade deadline is officially over, and you know we got a couple weeks left, so they need to start gaining some ground. And a split wasn't the best for them. It's still possible to catch the Mojo in the number 1 spot right now. But what they really need is James Klein back. They've missed James Klein the last 2 series, I think, and that has resulted in a sweep via the Mojo and then that split that I just talked about by the Mambas. But on the other side, adding Sam Eichenlaub is a huge plus in that lineup. I mean, you're rolling out in a playoff series James Klein as your number 1 and Drew Maurer as your number 2, and your lineup is Roy Rink, Tony Cochran, Sam Eichenlaub, and Jay Rich, and then Ethan Bailey or James, or pick your poison at number 5. That's a tough lineup. And that's not a lot of hits coming out of your pitching. James still has a 0.0 ERA, and Drew Maurer had an excellent comeback start versus the Mambas after surrendering that loss versus the Mojo.
Yeah, I mean, talking about it, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and so talking about the Kings, the ability, the Kings run their own destiny in this division because of the fact that, I mean, so do the Archers. The next 3 games that the Archers have, all 3 are against the Kings. And then they finish the season up against the Mambas. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be that, go out there and get it kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Where you're playing a division rival, in the division who's not, who's only a game and a half back. What does that look like whenever, everything comes and goes?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to, it's interesting, like I said, because the Mojo do hold the tiebreaker in head-to-head. They are 2-1 against them. So they would have to pass the Mojo via record and or points if they end up being tied, which is a possibility at the end of the year. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for sure, but it is a possibility for the Archers to take over that division.
Yeah. So that brings us into our top 2, where we got a new top 2, obviously. Mm-hmm. And maybe, you and me can be a little biased, but, I'll try and keep it straight 100. If you promise to keep it straight 100, but,
Yeah.
No, I mean, Archers 6-3, currently year to date and everything. We only played 2 games.
In the Thunderbirds?
Yeah, what did I say? Archers? I was looking at the Archers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. You're not on the Archers anymore.
Right. Thunderbirds only played 2 games. Played 2 games in June. Won both of them. Scoring 7 runs, giving up only 1 run. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Archers, obviously since Brody's been there, we're on a 6-game hot streak, right? Since he showed up. So we're 6-0 in the since Brody's been here. Is it him? I mean, a bulk of it, let's say it. But, we're starting to, the bats are starting to. Yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But I mean, the bats are starting to warm up a little bit. And, we hadn't played in a month. So, it really is going to be, all right, does this carry over? We started getting the bats going a little bit, and then we had that month break. Now, what's it going to look like coming out of it? And it's not an easy task by no means, So it's really, it's going to be something to where, can the momentum stay? Can the pitching carry still? If we're only scoring 1 run, it's going to come down to the fact of can the Thunderbirds keep runs on the board? And it's been about the offense since day one. Because we knew the pitching was going to be there. But that's my honest opinion. If we keep hitting, I think it'll be a good thing. Every good things will come. But I mean, I think we got some major pitching duels about to come down the pipe.
Yeah. But hey, that's going to be good for you guys. I mean, you don't want cakewalks going into the postseason, because then when you face a team that is going to bring it and they face tough competition, then it's going to be like, oh. And then you're kind of like on the back end trying to get ready. I mean, you guys have found something, in my opinion. You found the 1-2 punch in Brody and Foss. I mean, it was at the beginning of the season, we were like, well, there's weeks that Brody and Foss won't pitch because you have Andrew and Josh and all these pitching. As we're here at the end of June, I would never go away from those guys. The amount of arms you guys have and you won't even use is absurd, honestly. But with the ability of Brody and Foss going out and being able to dominate week in and week out, why go away from that? I will still say the question is the bats. If I had to raise a question, it's still the bats. I mean, Brody went off last week. Foss did drive in that run off Nick Bone, but then no one else hit. So hitting is hard. I do know hitting is hard. But, I mean, it's just that's all I have, you guys. You guys seem really solid going into the playoffs here. I mean, or into July. I mean, we still got a kind of a month, but we're kind of trending towards that the clinching scenarios for you guys at this point. So, I mean, you're 8-3 right now, currently at the time of this recording. So that's all I have. Is just, can anyone other than Brody consistently hit the ball?
That's fair. That's got to be fair. And I think the way that the schedule fell was a godsend and a curse all in the same. And what I mean by that is the fact that we got to play that we play the Mojo, that we play the Mambas, towards the back half of the season, going to get to see that good pitching, going to get to see, good lineups and everything. So it's going to be something to where it's really going to be a test of time, or at least we're going to be, well off when it comes to it.
I mean, it's either going to really help you guys or really hurt you guys down the stretch. That's all there is to it. You're going to see two great pitching rotations back to back in series to end the year off, and that's only going to help you come playoff time, or it can really hurt you because, say in an instance, you guys get swept 2 times or split, and it's like you start to freak out and panic because, we're not like, so it's going to be interesting for sure.
The whole philosophy is just play who's in front of us, and that's all that matters. So, I mean, we'll cross that bridge.
All you ever can do.
Right.
When you start to play the hypotheticals, that's when it gets bad.
Yeah. So, and that takes us to our new number 1, the Mojo. It breaks my heart to say it, but I'm okay with being number 2. I'm okay with being number 2 going into it. Up 4 spots. And I mean, in all reality, you guys played your asses off going 5-1, the only team to play 6 games in June. So you guys played when the rest of us only came to play for a night, right? But 5-1, 20 runs scored, 5 runs against. So there's just only one thing that really changed for you guys. And that's Gus decided to drive across and put on his Superman cape like he did in the playoffs last year, gets out the car and just starts tearing the cover off the ball and ripping the ball past everybody.
Yeah, that's why you draft that guy,
Yeah, oh yeah.
Old man for drafting that guy. He's really good at wiffle ball. Come to find out. Never knew that. In all reality, I mean, it seems like the Mojo are starting to put it together a little bit. Obviously, the hitting isn't as flashy as it was last year. But they're getting on base and getting timely hits to drive in runs, taking good at bats. But the pitching, on the other hand, has been so dominant. Gus Gibby has been a madman on the mound, shutting out some of the best hitters in MO WIFF so far this season.
Gus Gibby's 3-1 with a 1.07 ERA.
And he's ridiculous.
With 48 strikeouts versus he's only 2 strikeouts away from Sam.
That's crazy. That's insane.
But batting wise, he's only batting a $182.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno.
No, we don't talk about that. I mean, Jackson Crossley also has been excellent. I mean, hasn't made a full start, I don't think, this season. He has one kind of half game against the Purge.
Yeah.
But when Gus is going 2.5 games, you really can't do anything because it's like, who am I to tell you to not pitch when you're striking everybody out?
Ain't that the truth?
But the Mojo also made a move.
Yep.
And we added Jordan Smith.
Gave up a lot to get him too.
Yeah. Yeah, we traded away a pretty penny for Jordan. Yeah, we traded away a pretty penny, man, but that's a guy on the board. I mean, we wanted him in free agency. Cat's out of the bag. We wanted Jordan out of free agency. He was probably the only guy we wanted. And unfortunately, that didn't go our way. So we were like, hey, he's on the board. Let's go out and try and get him. And lucky for us, we got Jordan. So that adds another bat to this team. Obviously, Jordan isn't hitting the way that we're used to, because if he's hitting the way he's used to, he's never getting traded. So hopefully for us, I watched a video the other day, and it was game 2 of Mojo versus Archers in the semifinals of 2023. So the James Chaney series, for the ones that know, Brian was there.
I was there.
Ken Bone said something that Jordan was batting like 389 with like 2 bombs. And I told my dad after trade, I said, wouldn't that be something if Jordan turns back the clock and starts batting 389 again for the Mojo? And he's like, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. But no, I love to have Jordan Smith on the team. And also it's good to be back at number 1.
Yeah, I mean it's the rise was there. I mean, we all knew it was potentially going to happen. You know, yeah, the year didn't start off for the Mojo the way it wanted to. I mean, the year didn't start off for a lot of people the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to where you could see it coming. You know, now if Gus can't make a couple games, is there a drop? And I say that legitimately. Even though with I mean that's it does the kryptonite stay, and is it enough to, is that the kryptonite for the Mojo
When
team?
Superman isn't there to save the day, what did
if
Mojo
Gus if Gus is not there, is it a problem? That's just the question, right?
do?
But at the same time, at the end of the day, you still have Jackson Crosby, you still have Sam Skibby, you still have Jordan Smith, and you've been known to run into one a time or two. So you haven't had your little spurt yet. So let's maybe it happens towards the end of the year here. Carries it through the
I
playoffs.
want hitter of the week. I think I'm done for the year.
That's a true statement. Oh, shit. All right, man. Well, hey, here's our power rankings through the end of June. I know we rambled on a little bit, but a bunch of people are listening while they're driving in, so we can talk a little bit longer. Yeah. But with that all being said, I'll be right back with the interviews for our hitter and pitcher of the week, and then Q will join me back here for the third segment to carry us home. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Because he's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Brody!
Oh, Brody!
Off
Another
the wall.
triple for Brody.
Cole, can you do this? Oh, Brody Livingston leaves the yard. Right after the double play, a 2-run homer for Brody Livingston on the first pitch he sees. 5-4 Thunderbirds. 2-run homer in his last game, and he strokes a hard hit single there.
Joining us now at our Lit Cigar Lounge hitter of the week, going 4 for 8 with 2 triples and hit the go ahead 2-run laser of a home run, give the Thunderbirds lead in Game 2 of their series against the Kings. Please welcome back Mr. Brody Livingston. Round of applause.
Thank you.
What's up, buddy? How you been? How's your weekend been?
It's been good so far. Just kind of been hanging out. Body's recovering. I think as I get older, this is just going to become more of a thing.
As you get older, you're like 20, right?
21 now.
21. Oh, yeah, my bad. You know what? I forgot that it was your birthday. I do apologize. Happy birthday. Not today, but, happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, just kind of recovering. And I mean, everything's good. Nothing's too sore. Whole body more than anything, which is a good thing.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah. I especially enjoy hearing that. Walk me through your performance, this past week against the Kings, and your new teammate for NWLA, Nick Bone. So tell me what you were seeing and kind of what made you go off and bat 500 for the series.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of adapted a new mindset. This is more of like an NWA adjustment that I made, and I kind of brought it with me into MO WIFF. I kind of felt like I was overthinking it a little bit too much at the plate, just trying to overanalyze everything. So my new kind of approach is just kind of see ball, hit ball. So if I see the ball up and in the general vicinity of where I can hit it, I'm going to swing. So, I mean, he was just kind of putting it where I wanted it. And I guess where I wanted it sometimes is even 2 feet above the zone and, still getting hits. So, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. I'm not a big walk guy. My kind of mindset is, I should get 3 pitches to hit. I mean, that's where 3 strikes come in. And if you get 3 by me, then, I'll tip my cap. But I should be able to hit one of those before, the next 2 come. So that's why I don't really walk a lot. It's kind of always been my approach. But, yeah, it's kind of what I've been doing this year.
I find it funny with our team, with the Thunderbird team, normally your leadoff guys are, your guys get on base, right? Just get on base. For you, it's no, let's get going, because we know your bat can run into one and, put one out of the ballpark. And with the pitching staff that Thunderbirds team has, one run sometimes can be enough.
Yeah. No, I think between the 3 games that I've pitched, I think we've won a combined between the 3-5-0. So it's definitely been important for us to get, a run across. And I feel like most of the time it's been actually I think every time it's been a different person. So that's really good to hear, and that only makes me excited for the playoffs.
Yeah, using that past series as a real example is that everybody kind of contributed, right? I think it was the first time everybody up the lineup at least had one hit that contributed to something through the series.
Yeah, no, I mean, it felt like everything in the zone was just getting crushed, especially in game 2. But even in game 1, I felt like we had a lot of traffic. We just didn't really get a lot of those runs across. Obviously, we only won 1-0. But I mean, again, like you were saying with our pitching, one run's probably going to be enough.
Right. So in your 6 games this season, you're batting .409, you're slugging 1,000, and you have an on-base percentage of .519 with 3 bombs. You're all amongst league leaders, and I think towards the end of July you'll probably definitely fall in line with the category for the league leaders. Kind of have enough at bats to qualify. How was your wiffle ball experience? Kind of prepped you for like the MO WIFF fast pitch, big barrel style play.
Well, I mean, truthfully, like Big Barrel, this is only my second like full year. And I mean, some people probably are gonna even call it my first full year. I never really swung a Big Barrel bat until like the fall of 2023. So I've been really happy. I was honestly last year I felt like the first tournament I was just kind of getting comfortable with the bat. And I mean that bat immediately like jumped out to like something that I like, fits with my stance perfectly. I like the way I can swing it. So I mean, honestly, uh, more more just putting the bat on the ball has been like a thing the past couple years. I wasn't really much of like a insane hitter until even if you want to call it like insane hitter until like last year. That's when I really saw some like big success. Before then, I was hitting like win yellow bat leagues like high 200s, low 300s, which in speed limit leagues isn't like the greatest. So I've been happy with that, and again, like my approach this year has really helped, and hopefully I can keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily call you. You don't. I think all of us, right, with the pitches and everything, we all have light tower power, right? Where you run into something high and speed meet barrel meets long distance, but you're more of that line drive hitter, like
Yeah,
just like looking at some of the home runs, like you hit the 2-run shot that you hit the other night was a laser. I mean, the thing just hugged the line and just stayed there, just stayed on a nice solid line drive trajectory. The first one that you hit, kind of had that you barreled it, but you caught the spin on it, and it just kind of, kind
yeah.
of, it's. I don't think I've seen you just absolutely mash a ball that was like, up, 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 up. Is it going to clear? Kind of thing. It's just that it's going to go because you just hit it you piece it up.
Yeah, I mean the thing with home runs, and this is kind of something I've learned. You don't need to swing as hard as you can in order to hit them. The name of the game is just getting it over the fence. It doesn't matter how far it goes over the fence. So, and I mean at the end of the year, like you could have somebody who hits 4 bombs and hits 200, or you could have somebody who hits 4 bombs and hits 400. I'll take the guy who hits 400 all day because I
Yep.
mean they're putting the bat on the ball more. So the guys who have the big swing and miss game, but swing or go home, like I respect that, but that's not really my game. My game's bat to ball, and if it goes over, that's great.
So I'm going off script a little bit here. In your collegiate career, now were you a PO or did you get some at bats?
No, I only between high school and college, I only had 6 at bats. I went 4 for 6 my freshman year in high school, and I never hit again.
What positions did you play in high school besides pitching?
I believe I played a game of first base and a couple games in the outfield. Other than that, I would hit for myself if my spot came up. And most of the time, my coach would tell me to bunt. I would miss the bunt on purpose and then swing and hit like a single. So, um, yeah, I wasn't. I was a good hitter until anything over 80 was coming my general direction, and then I didn't hit anymore. So my swing does not translate to baseball as much. I can run into one every now and then, but not consistently.
The funny thing is I have more career success hitting a baseball than I do a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I have more power wiffle ball, but I mean, obviously shorter distance, right? But but average wise, I was always a slap hitter, slap the ball the other way, or slap the ball over the line. Rafael Furcal style, right? I could run into one, but I could pull back a bunt and have a third base in charge and slap it over the top of his head and be sitting on second. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do. But
yeah, I mean,
but
my dad always used to tell me that I was a tinkerer, and he'll probably comment on this and say it's true. I think this is actually kind of what makes me such a good wiffle ball player. At least before I kind of stepped into like professionally, more so on the pitching side. Hitting, my approach is definitely like leveled out, and I've gotten everything going and kind of in sync. But pitching wise, I definitely like mess around and do a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I used to like mess around with my batting stance, which is probably why I didn't hit past 14 years old.
I'm still trying to find my stance at 38 years old. I'm still trying to find a consistent stance, and I think somebody told me that I just need to go back to whatever was working last year or the year before because it ain't working this year. So
I mean, well, you also like a big difference in pitching. I feel like just overall like league pitching, like there were definitely like the top guys were very similar, but I feel like the depth of the league pitching wise has gotten a lot better. But also, yeah, a lot of it for me is just timing. It's a timing game. So I mean, if you look at all my swings, I do kind of like one bat tap when the pitcher goes back, and I do one more little one, and then I go. So I know it's like 1, 2, 3. So I don't know, something that keeps your timing just in place always helps.
yeah, that's. I think I get too deep. I mean, you've told me too many times, already. Just get out of your head. So I mean, I think it's just all in my head.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get out of it. I mean, in all reality, I didn't think I was going to get this many at bats this year. So it is what it is. But having fun. I'm enjoying winning. It's been fun. Speaking of winning,
Speaking of winning, how about them Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds are 8-1, first place. 8-1. Sorry, 8-3, first place in the National League. How you feeling about the squad? You've only had 6 games with us, and where how do you feel about where we sit coming down the stretch? Our next 2 series are against the Mambas and the Mojo.
I mean, I've played 6 games. We've won all 6 of them, so I feel fantastic. Obviously, it's unrealistic to say that we're going to win every game that I play in, but while we're riding this high, I think we should just keep doing what we're doing. I know we got some tough teams coming up with the Mambas and Mojo, but that shouldn't change anything. I mean, I don't think any of us are afraid of anybody right now. I know we kind of came out and proved a point my first 2 games with Doolin pitching twice. So I think we're about ready for anybody.
For sure. I'm looking forward to it. Like I've said to everybody, it's like, hey, we'll play whoever's in front of us. Let's have some fun. Yeah. So that's one of those things. So talk a little bit about the squad. I know that you've got to play in pretty much every league that St. Louis has to pretty much offer for the most part. Walk me through how your summer's been and the amount of wiffle ball that you played since moving here to St. Louis.
I mean, I love it. All 3 leagues are different. I love all 3 of them for very different reasons. I mean, I'll go through all of them. Skibby, very different style than what I've ever played. Just kind of brings me back, like grounds me a little bit, brings me back to like, the game that I grew up playing with my brothers. Like that was really fun. Probably the hardest style of wiffle ball I've played this year, to be honest. It's very different to not be able to overpower people pitching wise and then not be able to hit consistently. So I've definitely been working on that at least a little bit. NWA, basically BLW. I mean, they're very similar. So, that's what I kind of came into competitive wiffle ball with. So that's been really fun to just continue to keep doing that style. And then MO WIFF last year just took like a big leap with fast pitch, and I really wanted to get into it more. And moving here has definitely really helped, with that. And I've loved all of them. So, yeah, it's been a great time. Every single week, I feel like I've had something wiffle ball related. So, I mean, if you literally look on our calendar on the fridge, it's just like each week, wiffle ball, wiffle ball, wiffle ball, at least one day or 2 days a week. So, yeah, it's been great.
Oh man. So I mean, when you moved here, your girlfriend was already living here and stuff like that, and your family was pretty
Yep.
much up here. When you moved here, and then now you've been playing wiffle ball every weekend. Are you spending time with them? Are you getting to do anything around St. Louis fun? Or
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I've been around quite a bit. Gone to Main Street a couple times. Went to a Cardinals game. Just kind of again been hanging out. We had a little bit of like a pause between all three, so it kind of lined up perfectly. But everybody's working. They have their lives here still, so it's definitely been like interesting because on the days when they don't work, I have wiffle ball. So sometimes it is tough to like see people throughout the week. But I mean, I it's been fun. Just kind of getting to explore places. And if anybody in St. Louis knows where to go to eat, please let me know. I'm still trying to find like good places that are like local because we didn't have that back home.
Oh, cowboy! I did not. I got you. I didn't get this way from besides sitting on my ass. But I mean, definitely. You tell me what you're in the mood for, and I can tell you some places close. But I mean, by all means, if anybody's got anything out there, text Brody, me. If you ain't got his number, I'm sure he'd be okay with me giving it to you.
Yeah.
We can definitely get it to give him a nice little list of places to look.
Oh yeah.
So with everything that's around St. Louis, all the junctions, and I know you've been here before and so on and so forth. What's something you haven't done yet that you for sure want to go do?
I haven't gone to a Blues game. Obviously, hockey season isn't right now, but I haven't gone to a Blues game ever. I don't think so. That's something I definitely want to do. I also want to see the football team here.
Hawks?
Yeah, that would also be kind of cool. Mainly because they're not an NFL team, and I kind of want to see how it compares. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do.
I know somebody with season tickets might be able to make that happen for you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And then I know we know some people with some Blues tickets too, so we might be able to help you out.
That'd be awesome.
So I like to end every interview, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here with, well, I did it and then I fell off of it. Now I'm going to get back into it. What kind of questions do you have for me? Let's flip the script a little bit. Let's flip the script. You can put me on the spot just as much as I put you on the spot.
I gotta think of something here.
All right. So while you're thinking of one, I'll ask you a question. I'll ask you another question.
Yeah.
Out of everybody who you haven't faced yet, who are you potentially looking forward to facing? Whether it's on the rubber or, you stepping into the box, who are you looking forward to going toe to toe with here between now and the rest of the season?
Connor Jaso, 100%. I've never seen him pitch in person, and everybody talks him up quite a bit, and I like facing those guys. This is not a knock on anybody, but I've had people talk up, Danny Haverty, Mike Whitty, Robles, all very good pitchers, right? I've hit off all those guys, and I want to get hit off Jaso. He's kind of like one of the last guys that I've heard is like insane, who's not on the East Coast, and I want to hit off him. I want everybody to know what I can do, and he's kind of like an infinity stone, I guess. So yeah, that's who I want to face.
Oh snap! That's funny. He's kind of like an infinity stone. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that makes me very excited. I hope he's here for that Mojo series. Sam, Doug, Q, make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's have some real fun. Right? Say that series got moved. It better have been so Jason could be here. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's all in good fun too. Like again, that's not a knock on anybody, but I like saying that I got hits off really insane pitchers. If honestly, like, I wish I could face myself sometimes because I just think that's always kind of an interesting question I ask myself. Like how I would do against myself. I feel like I wouldn't. I don't know. I feel like I'd take myself deep. Just honest truth there.
Well, remember what your brother said. Your brother said straight up. He goes, nobody's going to hit you better than him because he's seen you the most.
Yeah,
and then he wasn't there for the series. So
if he can get it off me. Anybody can get a hit off me, you know. So
I could get a hit off you. I feel confident after, at least 100 bats, I could at least get
oh
a
yeah,
hit. All right.
oh
Just,
yeah,
I said, or as my season average of 0.67, 0.067. That's my season average,
that's higher than 1 in 100 right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, bud. I appreciate you. That makes me feel so good. Oh, snap. All right, were you able to think of anything?
Not. I mean, it's hard to not think like wiffle ball
That's fine.
when we're on it. So I guess now that you've been in the league, this is your fourth year?
Fourth year. Yep.
All right. What has been the biggest difference since you've been in the league? Outside of obviously like the talent.
Oh, outside of the talent. All right. Well, you take the easy answer away. It's always been competitive. All right. So, but I think the intensity has amped up year by year by year. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll go into, and I'll even speak personally, like if there wasn't anything to light a fire in my ass to want to perform and do better, I got cut from the Archers the night after the championship loss. That in that final game, I'd hit 2 home runs that kept us in that ball game. Right, they kept us in the ball game. It didn't go our way, but by all means, I ran into them. It wasn't like I was some stud. I've not. That's not how I am. But it kind of stung a little bit. So that competitive nature flies in me, and I see it. I see it in everything. And sorry about all that. My dogs are upstairs running around acting like some hellions. But you see it a little bit more, like using Thunderbirds. And I'll use an example. I'll use an example from with you the other night. We all joke around, have a good time while we're warming up and cracking, telling jokes. Throughout the weeks, we're having conversations that are fun but serious at the same time. But then it gets into the game time, and I went to crack a joke your way, and you looked me dead in my eyes, and said, "No, not right now. I'm locked in." And I was like, "Beautiful, beautiful." I went back over to where I was playing, in the field. I was like, "God, I love these boys. God, I love them." That intensity and that fire and everything. But I mean, the playing of the series, yeah, it can be fun. We can be, shooting the shit and being, just talking smack back and forth. But I mean, once it gets into the game time, it's everybody's locked in and loaded. It's the Melonhead series. You with Jason asking Jason what pitch he wanted to see, and then blowing it right by him. Stuff like that. That's fire. That's intensity.
Yeah.
Watching Foss the other night go out there and, struggled that first inning. All right. But I got nothing but faith in him, 100%. I wasn't going to go up there. I didn't go up to him until after the fourth or fifth one. Because I was like, all right, we're going to have to stop walking runs in here, bud. We're going to have to pitch to somebody. But, just kind of letting that be out there. But just the intensity has grown, to answer your question short, has grown well and above beyond what I ever thought it was going to. Like I knew it was going to be competitive, and I knew it was going to be, but at the same time fun, because that's the people that I knew that were already in the league were fun-loving people. But I've just kind of got to watch it, and the more I've gotten involved, from being in the front office and now going to some of these tournaments, and last year at UWIFs changed my whole perspective of the competitiveness of the sport. Like I had seen the NWLA championship game, that, Skibby, that well, I think that it was either Mo WIFF or Skibby. I can't remember. My apologies. Y'all can judge me later for it. But, watching that championship game on ESPN Plus, and just seeing how that unfolded and stuff. And it was like, all right, cool. That's cool to see. That's awesome. Blah, 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 blah. And then I go to UFs last year, and it was nuts. I mean, you're going to get to witness that, for the first time this year yourself. The Pandas are going to be there, right? And, sorry if I'm taking that announcement away from anybody. My apologies. If we need to cut it, we can cut it. But, you're going to get to see that firsthand. I mean, you think your blood runs thick now with this sport.
Yeah.
It's a different beast up there. And I haven't been to the NWLA tournament, but that's 16 teams. All right. UWIF's 40.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 40, and it's not just, it's not, it's amazing how it goes, but it's some of the best talent all together, and where, it can be anybody's luck. Somebody can make a Cinderella run, or, experience plays. So it's all about being in the moment. I mean, I myself am never going to witness it as a player. I don't ever anticipate it, at least. But I will always enjoy going as a spectator or, a manager. I don't, the title to me is, just to be able to get on the field kind of thing. But you want to be there. You want to be able to see it. And I mean, I strive off that stuff just as much as the players do. So,
Yeah. That makes me just excited, especially like I've had like a decently long career, I guess you could say, when it comes to just playing wiffle ball, and I've never gone to any of the national tournaments, so that just makes me like excited. I'm pumped up for NWLA this weekend, and then in October. One other thing that I wanted to ask: what is your favorite rule in MO WIFF?
oh, all right. My favorite rule, and it's because I've got to happen to see it twice now in back-to-back weeks that we've played, and they've happened. One by somebody I expect, and Tony Saggio pulling it off. But then it happened to me last week. All right. And I will give Paul Pugh his flowers. All right. The fact the ball can skip on a double play to hit the strike zone, to me, is more fun than just in the air on the fly, hitting the strike zone for a double play. I guess because it adds the element, just that element to it. But I watched that play develop. I mean, I watched me hit the ball and watch where the ball went and watch Paul, get to it and then pirouette and then, get his feet set and make an off balance throw that skips and hits the strike zone. So I guess that's probably my favorite rule that we have.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. Like, not the double
Set
play
me up.
rule. I like double
Set me up.
plays. But skipping is just so nice. Just like, I don't know, like seeing like a first baseman make like a nice, like, he does the splits but he scoops it. Like, it's so
Yeah.
clean. It has like the same like feel, like the, oh my goodness, like they just threw this ball away, and then it just skips up and kisses the bottom of the zone, and both of them have been perfect. And it sounds like super rare. So I mean, that's awesome.
I've only seen it happen twice in my tenure, like seen it with my own eyes. I don't know how many double plays have been pulled like that. I know double plays have been pulled before, and stuff that way, but actually seen it with my own eyes, the style of which it's happened now back to back, weeks that I've been up there, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. So that's my favorite rule. I mean, even though it happened to me, but like I said, I'll tip my cap, you know, to Paul. He made a hell of a play. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing on the line. Like, I mean, his right foot was on the line when I was up there because of, I'm a natural pull hitter like that. And it's, Jason did that to me in the Melonhead series, but obviously he was doing it for shits and giggles. Paul was playing there and I tried to put the ball in between them. And I think honestly, maybe if I fully swing through it, because it was kind of a pop check swing, I don't know what I was trying to do, but if I put a full swing through it, I maybe put that ball through. But he made the play, made the out, and I mean, kept the game close because at that time we were threatening.
Yeah.
So it sucked, but that's probably my favorite rule we have. Now change it. I want it changed now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's change it for the rest of the season.
Only for us. Only for us. It doesn't count if you're playing the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, we have a specified rule. If it happens against Thunderbirds, it doesn't count. No, we're just playing. We're just playing for all the people to be out there making jokes. But no, man. Well, hey, I know it's getting late, and I appreciate your time here tonight. But look forward to. We got this. We're this week off for the league, obviously for NWLA. Then the Thunderbirds have a week off after that, so you get a week to recover. NWA a week to recover from it, and then we go back at it, get it again against the Mambas. So be ready to pitch game 2 of that series. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Foss's turn to start the series. But just giving you preps.
I'm ready.
Anybody who doesn't know our pitching rotation by now, you ain't been paying attention. But it's neither here nor there. But no, man. Again, I appreciate your time here tonight. And I look forward to hopefully talking to you every week. We'll make this a Gus Skibby thing where you're on for 3-4 weeks at a time.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep, you too.
Oh, Sam, definitely the type of glasses. Can't see. Big strikeout there.
You do, yeah, but it's just
I've been following him for a couple years. Big swing and a miss.
really the best way to do it if you want to stay out of trouble is to be more lenient on it, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to do it.
Knuckleball,
Does
like he said. And a big
my
pitch
goodness.
from Justin Hall.
Same year with the bases loaded that tied the game up. I've seen that one.
Driving me
They're
nuts.
horrible. I've never seen them like, there's
But overall, he's been pitching really well as there's another strikeout. 2-0.
John Satrowski's done a great job in the field for us and
Rory
Big pitch.
swings and misses at that.
started game one off with a 3-run shot, and there's strike three. And that's going to be missed a sweep here tonight. And it is strike three.
That's a big win for the
And
Mambas.
that's gonna-
Joining us now is our Buffalo Wild Wings pitcher of the week for week 12, going 5 innings, striking out 11 while walking only 4. And through his first no-hitter of the season and getting his first win since joining his new team, the Mambas, please welcome back Mr. Justin Hall. What's up, buddy? How you been?
Been good, man. Been good. Glad to be back on the podcast again.
Yeah, glad to have you. Glad to have you, bro. Walk me through your outing, last week against the Archers.
I think I was feeling good. In the very beginning, I was actually came into the game pretty exhausted. Work's been kicking my butt with this heat the last few weeks. Didn't have a lot of air conditioning to work in, so kind of came into the game really exhausted, but wanted to, prove myself to my new team. So I feel pretty proud of the performance I did, considering I was so tired that day. But there's still lots to work on. I think 4 walks is okay, but I would like to get that down a little bit more under control. But like I said, if I wasn't so exhausted, I think I would have did a little better.
So, talking about joining the Mambas and everything, how's it been since joining the squad? You guys are only a game up right now from the Kings. For you're in third place right now in that American League division. So the game up with only a couple games left to go. How's it been joining the team and kind of that culture?
So far, so good. The last 2 games we played were a lot of fun. I feel like I connect with the guys a lot. I mean, it's already a good squad, so all I'm trying to do is just come in and add to what's already there, basically, and help any way I can, whatever it takes. So just glad to be a part of the group, and glad it seems like everyone's clicking, chemistry wise.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely say the culture that's there. You kind of slide right in,
Yeah.
Just have a little fun. Just go over there and watch them mash.
Yeah.
That Mambas offense, it ain't no joke, bro.
Oh no, definitely.
It is not no joke.
It's nice to have some hitters to back you up on the mound.
4 games left in the season for the Mambas. You got a series with the Thunderbirds coming up. 3 weeks from now?
Yep.
You got 1 game against the Mojo and 1 against the Archers. How do you personally look to kind of stay hot through the tournament season and everything?
Just stick with the game plan, attack batters and just try to stay ahead in counts and, just take it 1 game at a time. I know there's not a whole lot of games left, but, we want to make sure we secure that playoff spot and just take care of business. So 1 game at a time, really.
Got you. NWLA this weekend?
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. That's one of my favorite tournaments of the year. Don't get a lot of experience with the clean ball, but it's a blast. It's so much of the energy, the atmosphere, you can't beat it. So.
Gotcha. So UWIFs is after that, and it made me think about, because I know you've played a couple different tournaments, gone to the East Coast, playing some Moss stuff. How many teams have you played with this year across all the different leagues and tournaments?
Oh my God. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3.
Oh, name them.
Okay.
Put your name out there,
Okay,
bro.
we got the Moonshots. We got the SWBL White Sox. I played on the Kings, MO WIFF Kings. Now I played on the Mambas. And then played for Miracle for a tournament. And then we've got this NWLA playing for Miracle there. And then in October, we'll be playing with the crew for UWIFs. So,
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, the crew.
yep. A ton of teams.
Yeah. It's a lot of teams, but hell, I mean, you love the game.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Yeah, and that's the only way you're going to get better is just playing more. So that's my goal this year, to try to get as much wiffle ball as I can.
Right?
Yeah.
Right on. So, obviously, trying to get back to having a little bit of fun on the podcast when it comes to us.
Yeah.
What questions you got for me?
Okay. I hope that no one has already asked you this, but do you have any favorite like ritual game day?
So, ball players are skeptical people as it is, right?
Yeah.
They got their traditions. For me, it is either Waffle House breakfast
Okay.
or Chick-fil-A breakfast, depending on the work schedule,
Okay,
right?
I
Depending
love
on what the day
that.
looks like. Lunch is always a burger.
Yeah.
Always a burger, whether it can be from anywhere. I've had it from Burger King, McDonald's,
Okay.
or something like that. But I mean, rituals is like, I wear this black chain,
Yeah.
for every day.
Yeah.
But game day, I've got that gaudy looking silver
Okay,
chain that I
little
love
bling
that I
bling.
love to wear. Being one of the older men in the league, it kind of makes me feel a little younger.
Hell yeah.
But the funny thing is, I'm sitting back looking at photos the other day. I'm the only one with the hat backwards. And everything that way. And I was like, man, besides Rogers, I'm the oldest one on my team, and I'm sitting there trying to look like the youngest. But I was sitting there, looking at the shorty shorts and stuff like that, just not my style.
No.
I was talking to Brody, and I was like, man, I'm so glad you wear leggings, dude, because the shorter your shorts are, man, them legs got to be white.
Yep. Absolutely.
But no, man, that's definitely, I would say, that only ritual I have
Yeah.
is kind of get in there, and then you and me, we play together in another league on Wednesday nights, and
Yeah.
you know me, I'll just show up and step into the box.
Yep.
So I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But no, besides that, those are about the only rituals I got.
Nice. I love Waffle House, so that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, right on. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, hey, buddy. Again, congratulations on the pitch of the week, and we'll be right back with our Week 11 hitter of the week. Better late than never. I do apologize to this individual, but we're definitely going to get him on, and we're definitely going to have some fun with that conversation. So stick around. We'll be right back. In the last segment, better late than never. Joining us now is our Week 11 Lit Cigar Lounge hitter of the week. His big-time two-run homer propelled his Bombers to a win in Game 1 of their series with the Melonheads. He had 3 hits and 3 RBIs in that series. Please welcome Mr. Sam Gildehouse. Am I pronouncing it right?
Thank you.
Am I pronouncing your last name right?
Yeah, perfect.
Victory.
Perfect.
So what's up, man? How you been?
I've been good. How about you? Just enjoying the summer?
Trying to enjoy the summer. Came out here and watched a little NWA action tonight, so having a good time.
There you go.
So walk me through how you came to play this season, because obviously you're going to school out of state, and just now here you are. So walk me through it.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned it in the broadcast, but so got 1 week off of school right around the end of the semester, came up and visited you guys, watched you play. And you invited me to come out to a church picnic where y'all were throwing a little tournament for the community, and asked if I could help, and I could. And while I was there, Cam was asking me if I was home for the summer, if I wanted back in. And it all the dominoes just fell, and it just worked out. So, yeah, glad to be back.
Gotcha. So what's been different this year with you at the plate? You've had a hit in each of your last 3 games. You're batting almost 100 points higher than your career average, which is higher than mine. So it'd take 140 ain't nothing to lash at. But your career average is 140, but you're batting 235 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been different this
Honestly,
year?
The break, not swinging a bat for 8 months or however long the school year was, 9 months. You don't think about it. And honestly, it's the mental block there that was just kind of weighing me down before, I feel like. And now I just go up there and I just swing, and it's just been working. Turning my brain off somehow made it easier. Don't know how, but
hey,
it's working.
They say ball's 90% mental. So there's that. So tell me about this year's Bombers team. Have you got to meet everybody on the team this year? And I know you've been there only 2 weeks.
I have not had the opportunity to meet Ben yet, which I hope it works out. I know he's kind of been, it's a little rough trying to get him here and all that, which I understand. But a pretty similar team to last year. It is sad. We just traded Johnny away, so that is sad. But I think Josh will be a really good addition to the roster, get us a little bit more secure pitching wise, because that's where, we've been struggling to play it too as a team, but I feel like the bats are coming around. This Melonhead series, I think, really brought the team back with Cam hitting his first of the year and Tommy. Everyone was hitting that series, so I really think that's the jump that we needed to get the Bombers back on track at the plate at least. And like I said, same team as last year almost. Boys are hitting well. Just it's wiffle ball. It's hard. You're facing all these new kids that are throwing 90 plus, and it's like you blink and you not even blink. You breathe and you miss it. It's almost near impossible to hit these kids. So, but it's good to be back with the Bombers, and I'm glad to be back with the crew.
Yeah, I remember seeing you show up like the first week. I was like, look, he's even got a jersey. Because we with all these player movements and stuff like this, got to order jerseys from here and there, and it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of fun to have some fun with and play. All right, so 4 games left for the Bombers. You guys are 3 games back in the division.
Yeah.
What's it take for this Bombers to keep their playoff hopes alive?
I kind of mentioned it in the last question that you asked me. We got Josh. I think that's going to be an insane help. I think that will. I'm pretty sure we play the Purge 3 of these 4 games. Is going to be tough. They've got a solid squad. All about them. Everyone knows all about them. Tom over there with the social media keeps it pumping like crazy. So we just need to keep pitching like we're pitching. Cam and Josh do their thing, and like I said, I'm just hoping that Melonhead series was enough to reignite our bats and get us going at the plate again. But if it's anything to go by, I think we're in a solid spot. We just need to keep fighting at the plate and take good at bats and stop swinging at balls.
Okay. I try to take that advice too. Free swinger that I am.
Yeah.
But no, man. No, but I appreciate your time. I know go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, the timing's messed up with this, I think. Internet delay. But that swing right before that I hit that home run, don't watch it, please, if you feel like going back. It was pretty bad.
Oh, don't tell me that. I haven't edited the clips yet. Now I'm going to definitely have to have it on there. Now I'm going to have that swing before that. I won't do that to you, kid. I won't do that to you.
I
don't
think
worry
it was
about
right before. That's all right.
But no, man, hey, I know it was late. I do apologize. I started a new job. Life gets in the way, living life the best we can. But I appreciate you meeting with me tonight. And I look forward to seeing what you can do between now and the rest of the season.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. No worries.
Yeah, for sure. And with that said, we'll be back to wrap it up and bring us home. Thanks a lot. Welcome back to our 3rd edition of 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. And before we get started here, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, and so that way you're alerted, and ring that bell so that way you're alerted for anything Mo WIFF across any of our platforms. So hit the button. It's going to be like right here.
Yes. Hit the button.
Right here. So me and Q thought, we got 2 months left in the season roughly with playoffs and everything. So why not? Let's take a look at some early awards, right? Just middle of the pack, kind of where we're feeling like things could potentially end and how they could be. Have a little fun with it. Definitely start some conversations maybe and kind of see what we're thinking. So without further ado, we're only going to go through Golden Hands, Silver Slugger, Rookie of the Year, Cy Wiffle, and MVP. All right, so those are the only 5 awards that we decided we're going to talk about. The other awards that Mo WIFF gives out, we have Character of the Year, Manager of the Year, and Most Improved. And since the season's not over, it's kind of one of those things where Most Improved you really can't get a good vibe on it. And with the year not being over yet, Manager of the Year, that's up in the air, and Character of the Year, there's too many people for us to count. So we'll let you guys decide on that stuff. So with that being said, let's start with Golden Hands. Q, you go first on Golden Hands.
That's a tough one for me, but I might have to give it to Cam. Give to good old Cameron Smith. My stats page is being weird. He has 17 putouts and no errors. And I mean, he's been electric all season out there at third base when he's not pitching. So I'm gonna have to give it to Cam.
It's a true statement. So I went against Cam because I figured you'd go Cam there. I went Johnny Gunn.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Because Johnny's got 16 putouts, no errors. Obviously, he's playing a different position. All right, so outfield's a little bit different. But I mean, he's made some charges into the infield, and, gotten some ground balls and stuff that way.
Yeah.
So maybe 100%, it's not necessarily fair to put Johnny in there. But I think maybe playing with the Kings, it's a little different. Plus, he's a damn sequoia tree out there, bro. You hit a ball out there. I don't know how many home runs he has just because he's there.
Probably 2 or 3.
So I mean, he's changed game outcomes potentially just by being out there. So that's why I call Johnny. But I mean, Cam still, that is what it is. It's right there. And I mean, couple rounding out the top. Those are the top 2 right now in putouts. But rounding out the top 5, you got Rory Rank with 15 putouts, Tony Cochran with 12, and Cole with only 11. So with that being said, that's kind of one of those fun things.
Yeah.
So Silver Slugger, I'll go first. Well, that's how we'll just rotate back and forth. Right now, I mean, Silver Slugger's figured out for us by, batting average and kind of importance and everything that way when it comes to it. Right now, our top 2 in the league, with it sitting and if qualified, I think it's going to be Brody that wins it. All right, he's got to qualify. He's got to make sure he gets to the at-bats. All right, but I think Brody's going to be the one that kind of pulls that away. I think Cole's cooled off a little bit here. Brody could probably go through the same thing, just more at bats, just the law of averages, how it's going to go. But I think at the end of the day, I think that's going to be a tight race between those 2.
Yeah, I mean, I also went with Brody as well. Brody has 22 at bats to Cole's 33, so there's an argument for that there. But Brody so far is batting .409 with an on-base percentage of .519. He has 3 bombs, 2 triples, 4 singles, and only 10 strikeouts. Has 5 walks, but I mean, he's hitting lasers off the bat. He's been, in my opinion, carrying this Thunderbirds offense through this stretch, and he's leading the league in average. The question you brought it up is can he get to the qualification point?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when the vote comes out, it's going to have to be, they're going to have to be close, right? So, I mean, obviously Cole's played more games. So, there's 13, Cole's played 13 games, Brody's played 6. But the at-bats, 22 to 33, there's only 11 at-bats difference there. Now, granted, the most shocking thing is Cole's only struck out 11 times and walked 14 times. So those at-bats and everything there, that skews it up a little bit for him. But he's definitely somebody that on-base percentage, 533 or 553 for Cole to 519 for Brody. I mean, it's going to be fun to see where they end. But
yeah,
that's a good one. All right. Rookie of the year. Who you got? Should have said you can't pick it. I'm kidding.
That's a tough one, man. It's I don't know. I really think I'm probably going to lean towards Brody on this one as well. I'm going to pick against my family here. I feel like James has been a better pitcher in terms of statistics and just kind of the people he's seen already. But the hitting is where it takes the cake for me. Brody's on par with his pitching so far this year. James is 4-0 with a .0 ERA in 21 innings, has only given up 1 hit, 12 walks, and 51 strikeouts. Brody is 3-0, 0 ERA, 14 innings pitched, 3 hits, 37 strikeouts to 5 walks. So it's a toss-up there, but I think Brody gets it with the hitting.
Okay. I as well. That's what it is. I mean, when Brody
Livingston show over here.
I took Brody as well because I mean stats don't lie, ball don't lie. I mean that's just what it is.
That is to it.
And
guys get it with him.
That's exactly what it is. I can't speak to it. I made the trade to trade up to get him. I drafted him, and I love it. All right, so that brings us to Cy Wiffle. If if he can qualify with pitching, I think it's Klein. All right. I think Klein's got some of the most devastating stuff that we have in the league right now. And it's pure power, right? And I think just the older he gets and the more experience he gets, he's just going to add to the arsenal and become that much better. But I think if he qualifies for pitching, I think Klein is the front runner for a Cy Wiffle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not knocking anybody else. I just, kind of just trying to throw something out there that's a little different. I mean, ERA is going to really tell here. Hell, what if Gus shows up for every game you guys go? Maybe it's Gus. We don't know.
That'd be something.
But who you got for Cy Wiffle?
I'm going to have to go with James as well. Like you said, I just read off the stats. They're phenomenal so far, especially from a rookie. He's going out and he's just dominating other teams. He's making some of the best hitters in the league look silly. Obviously, if he qualifies. But another person I want to throw out there if he qualifies as well is Pat Ballman. Pat Ballman is in 3 starts is 2-0 with a 0 ERA in 16 innings. He's given up 0 hits, 2 walks to 41 strikeouts. That's phenomenal. That's less walks than James and Brody. And that's 10 less strikeouts than James. In a significant of not batter's face. James has 73 and Pat has 50. It's too late for me to do math right now. Obviously, that's easy, but I don't want to look like an idiot and try it.
Okay. MVP.
I'm going to go with Pat Ballman.
Son of a bitch.
I'm going to go with Pat. Is that who you're going to go with?
That's who I had, too. No wonder you didn't want to tell it up. No wonder you
I didn't think you'd do that. I'm going to go,
so,
I was going to go with Pat.
I actually have 3 for MVP, and I literally wrote toss-up. Toss-up, because I think at the end of the year, that's what it could be. Again, Pat's going to be a qualifier, right? How many games can he make? Okay? Black and white. If he can make them and he keeps doing what he's doing, wow. All right? But I've got Brody and Cole written down after Pat. And I call it a toss-up because of the fact of with that lineup on the Mambas, even where the record lies, where it sits where it sits right now for the Mambas team, are they anywhere close if he's still on that team? Right? Legitimately pluck all 3 of those guys, Pat, Brody, and Cole, pluck off the lineup or off the pitching rotation. Are their teams where they're at? That's why I'm straight to the point of most valuable. Is that where they're at? Yeah. So that's it's a toss-up for me because it's going to really determine where each team sits and lies at the end. And you know what? It's my podcast. I can put 3 names out there. It's your podcast too. You could put multiple names out there. But
I will put out one more name, and it's another qualifier one. If they can qualify, and if they're here, and that's going to be Gus Gibby. If Gus Gibby can get the bat going the way we know Gus Gibby can, and on top of the way he's been pitching, and he has been the most valuable player the Mojo have had this season. If you remember correctly, the Mojo were 5th in the power rankings. I mean, there was conversations of talking about keep the first-round pick and maybe aim for a top 2 draft pick because we were just playing terrible. And Gus put his cape on and saved the day, and we're 8-4 in the driver's seat to win this division. I mean, Gus has relaunched our season and is, giving us a new hope to go back-to-back from a Mojo perspective. I mean, the guy who showed up with his bionic arm that he somehow just found and has just pitched the lights out. He's not hitting where some of these MVP front runners that we've named is hitting, but he's definitely a name to throw out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, most valuable. You can look at the stat lines all you want, but it to me, a most valuable player purely is if you remove them from their team and they did not play there, is that team better or worse? Or is that team worse or anything? But you're right, 100%. Because he comes in, he starts playing the way he was. Now it's rejuvenate. Everybody's rejuvenated. Everybody gets a little bit more loose. Everybody gets a little bit more relaxed. And I mean, you guys gone on a tear. So I'm not knocking if, Gus got some votes. if we got some qualification stuff that way. But that's where I'm at. But it's always fun to play, hypotheticals here, right? It'd be fun to maybe I should go back and kind of look and see where we who did we pick back then?
Ooh,
Who did we pick back then? But I mean, we're definitely going to touch on that when later when the time comes. I think
Into
at the end of
season.
the year, end of the season, we'll kind of have that as a whole segment. We'll put where we have each award. You, me, and
I have
Jason.
both of them pulled up.
You, me, and Jason will kind of all get together and we'll do that at one time. I think it's pointless to do it now. But it, I think it'd just be a little bit of fun and, go back and watch that podcast, that predictions pod. Let us know in the comments. Tell us where we were. Yeah. All right.
Timestamp it too. Make sure you timestamp it. If you don't know how to do that, type in the time of where you saw said clip, and then we can go to the comments and click on it, and it'll show where we were wrong, so we don't have to go look for it.
Well, I didn't know.
Helps out a lot.
I didn't know.
Like if it's like an hour and 6 minutes and 4 seconds, type that in the comments, and it'll turn blue, and you can click on it, and it will go. YouTube will take it directly to that, so we can find out where exactly it was.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Hey, you learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this here episode. We appreciate you guys sticking around, having a good time. We appreciate your patience. I know it's been kind of crazy with us not getting the podcast out a little bit more. To everybody going out to NWA this weekend, good luck. We're all rooting for you. Each and every single team that's coming through MO WIFF, you'll be able to follow through the accounts and where we have, so you can follow each link, because NWA is going to be streaming each game on each field. So make sure you are paying attention to that this week, and you can follow us on all our socials. That way you're seeing that link so you can watch your favorite team. So make sure you keep that in luck. But with all that being said, I'm Brian Hunter. This is Q Meyer.
Peace out from Bar Brian.
And peace out from Studio Q. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week, and you guys have a lovely night.